quantities are the physical quantity that depend upon magnitude as well as direction. Scalar quantity only depend upon the magnitude, means a numerical value. But in vector quantity, it must have a numerical value also, and it should also specify direction also. किस direction में हो रहा है. Displacement is an example of vector quantity. For a time being, now you just have to understand that displacement is an example of vector quantity and distance is an example of scalar quantity. In the next part, we will study about distance and displacement. तब आपको ये और clear हो जाएगा कि क्यों ये scalar quantity है और क्यों displacement is a vector quantity. But now you have to take displacement as an example of vector quantity. One more important thing is that the vector quantity are represented by putting an arrow on the symbol. Distance में जो भी हम symbol use करते हैं, we don't put an arrow, but in vector quantity we put an arrow because your arrow indicate the direction. Now see the next part, that is distance and displacement. Now what do you mean by distance? Distance means a total movement of an object without any regard to the direction. We can define distance as how much ground an object has covered despite its starting or a ending point. Just see here in the diagram, in the picture, you can see this is a boy. First he went to his house, which is 4 meter, and then he went to the tree, that is 3 meter. So what is the total distance? 4 plus 3, that is 7. So 7 becomes my distance. Take one more example which is given in your textbook. In your textbook, a number line is given marking from 0 to 60. Here 0 is the reference point, or you can say an origin point. Okay. Suppose an object starts to move, it crosses C, B and reaches A. And again it comes back to C, passing through B. So how much distance is that covered? The total path or a length covered by an object will be OA, and O to A, that is 60, and A to C, that is 35, means 95 किलोमीटर. यहाँ पर मैं डायरेक्शन को नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि he went straight, then he took a U-turn. No indication of any direction. I am just calculating the distance covered. कितना distance covered किया? O to A and then again back to C. That is a 95 kilometer. Now see displacement. Displacement is defined as a change in the position of an object. It is a vector quantity and it has a direction and the magnitude. Now see the same example. Displacement means a shortest distance measured from the initial to the final position of an object, known as a displacement. Displacement में magnitude भी होता है और direction को भी देखा जाता है. Let's take a same example. O has travelled to A, means 60. Again it came back to C, means 25. 60 plus 35, 95 kilometer तो हुआ मेरा distance. But what is the displacement? For displacement I have to see the starting point. The starting point is 0 and the final point is C. C, that is 25. So displacement is just 25. Displacement 95 kilometer नहीं है. Displacement is only 25 kilometer. क्योंकि यहाँ पर सिर्फ यही distance को हम मापेंगे, यही displacement है. Final position object यहाँ था. Object कहाँ से भी घूम के आया हो, लेकिन object का final position ये है, object का starting position ये है. Object सीधा गया, then it took a U-turn and it came back to C. And the distance between the starting point and the ending point is just 25. इसका मतलब magnitude, displacement is just 25. Clear? Distance and displacement may not be equal. Distance displacement same नहीं हो सकता है. Now let's take one more example. This O has travelled all the way to the A, means 60, and then it has came back to point B. So here, what will be my distance? My distance will be 85 kilometer, but my displacement means I have to calculate from initial position, the starting point to the ending point. Ending point is B. 35 means just 35 kilometer is my displacement. This is the magnitude of displacement, a numerical value of displacement. So the magnitude of displacement is not equal to the path length, means it is not equal to the distance covered. मैं कितना भी घूम के आऊँ वो मेरा distance होगा, लेकिन मेरा just a difference of starting point and ending point, उसका जो distance होगा, that is my displacement. Now come back to this original example. Here the boy has travelled straight to the tree. This distance is 5 meter. तो ये जो 5 meter है ना, this is my displacement. Displacement का मतलब होता है shortest length. जो घूम के हम गए, first he went to B, then he went to C. This is my distance. लेकिन अगर मुझे displacement होना है, तो this is the starting, this is the ending. अगर मैं एक line draw करूँ, तो 5 meter is my displacement. Clear about displacement and distance? Distance means the total movement, irrespective of the direction. You take left turn or right turn, कुछ भी हो, that is distance. But displacement is just a initial point and the final point. Let's take one more example. See, this is a distance. Curved path है. I have walked all through this part and I have reached here. This is my distance. But what will be my displacement? Just the initial point and the final point. अगर मैं एक सीधा line draw करूँ, that is my displacement in a particular direction. Now see one more example of a circle. Circle में क्या होता है? This is the initial point of a circle. It will take a whole round and it will come back to it again initial position. Now here initial position and final position become same for the object. Starting point भी वही है, ending point भी यही है. So here the displacement becomes 0. Distance cannot be 0, but displacement यहाँ पर क्या हो गया? 0. Distance क्या हो गया? This is actually a circumference of a circle, and the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is my total distance covered. Distance means the scalar quantity. लेकिन displacement तो हम बोलते हैं कि it is just a distance between the initial and the final point. But here at point A, initial point and final point both are same. एक ही जगह पे है. वो point घूम कर फिर से उसी point पे आ गई. So here the displacement becomes 0. Clear? See the difference. Distance means the length of the path traveled by the object by moving from the initial to the final position. यहाँ पे direction कुछ important नहीं होता. आप कितना भी direction curve लेकर आप distance from the starting point to the ending point. But the displacement means it is the shortest distance between the initial point and the final point. सबसे छोटा रास्ता जो होगा, छोटा distance होगा, that is a displacement. Distance is a scalar quantity, means it only depend upon the numerical value 5 km, 2 km. But displacement is a vector quantity, depend upon the value also and it depend upon the direction also. Distance measured is always positive. Distance कभी भी negative नहीं हो सकता. But displacement can be positive also and negative also depending upon the reference point. Now see, अगर ये starting point है और ये starting point it has traveled all the way here and it again going back in the same direction और इसने अपने initial point cross करके यहाँ तक पहुँच गया, means now the displacement is in negative direction क्योंकि वो initial को भी cross करके और पीछे चला गया. So distance can be positive, distance is always positive and displacement can be positive also and negative also. Total distance covered is equal to the algebraic sum of all the distance traveled in the direction. Like in this example, it is algebraic sum 4 plus 3. तो ये हमारा distance होगा. But net displacement is a vector sum of the individual displacement in different direction. Means यहाँ पे just direction में कितना हुआ है net, मतलब अगर starting से ending तक जो distance होता है उसको हम displacement बोलते हैं. There is always a distance covered when there is a motion. Like here the circle, अगर body घूमी तो कुछ ना कुछ distance तो जरूर cover होगा. But displacement can be 0 if the body come back to its initial position. Same here. Now starting from the A but coming back to its position, the displacement becomes 0. It is also measured in unit and is also measured in unit. So this is a difference between distance and displacement. That is why distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity.